There is something about outside guys, they love women. Maybe especially when you are tall like me. The journey begins, or the story begins rather. So after getting settled in, we did all the registrations that we were meant to do, given our outfits and all, got a room, the bed and all. So yes, life began. And so I did not know that it wasn't funny. Oh gosh, we had, I mean, it was a very, very good opportunity because I met with a lot of people, people from different parts of the country, which was a very good feeling for me, right? Service here no be joke. Oh. So eventually we started with our parade and all that. So then the highlight of the whole thing for me when it concerns that camp, 3 weeks camp orientation, was the fact that we had an information that whoever partakes in parade would get 50,000 naira from the government. And see me guys, I ditched all other parts of the 3 weeks training, all the other fun parts, and I focused on parade. This is me marching, oh, marching under the sun. You know what the NYC song says? Under the sun or in the rain, with dedication and selflessness. Nigeria is ours, Nigeria we serve. So I was here serving my country under the sun. Oh, Kai, the sun in Kano State is something else. Sure, you thought that sun is in Nigeria. I mean, sun is in other parts of the country. The one in Kano, basically the northern state, the sun there is out of this world. I hope I'll be able to put some of my clips by the size of this video. I turned black. Like if there was any other word I could use, I turned really, really black. It was that intense. So yeah, so eventually I marched though. The sad thing was that I suffered. The day we were meant to have the sign oath taking ceremony, the governor decided to come in that day, come and see us under the sun. And those soldiers be like, no, we can't go and take water. Someone went to buy water, they smashed all the pure water right in our very presence. We're like, gosh, these guys are mean. But anyways, how will I blame them? That's the training they get over there, especially when you are going to military stuff. So we had to stay under the sun, standing on our feet. Like, gosh, it was not funny, but eventually, the governor came, and after the marching, I thought that something was going to drop. Guys, nothing dropped. Anyways, now back to the deployment of the deployment issue. It was time for us to like hustle at that. Many people were already, fixing themselves, already collecting the form for a deployment, and there was a condition for that deployment. For you either had to tell a lie to save yourself, okay, from staying in that place. So people came up with different lies, medical lies, talk of it, different lies. Some people claimed that they were going to get wedded, and so it's all for nothing. And me, my conscience is so fragile. I just could not imagine me doing all sorts. Although I was tempted to actually consider it at a point, but later I remembered the inspiration I got before coming. So I was like, I was still going to stay. Yes, eventually someone helped me out and gave me a clue on how I can actually get posted to city part of the state and not the village part. So luckily for me, I was posted to the city part of the state. And eventually I had to head to the family house because at that point it was a new place and I obviously had no family members there. So who was I going to stay with? Even if I wanted to get an apartment, it would take a long while. So eventually I stayed in the family house, RCCF Lodge. Yes, that is at Maraba in Kano State. And so I stayed there and I got posted to my place of prior assignment, which was an estate firm, yes, along Fagge, under Fagge local government, along Beirut Road. Trying to remember the place. I think I'm trying. Okay, so that was where I actually did my PPA, and yes. Now back to the real gist because this is where the story gets altered from that background, so you understand where I'm coming from. So yes, as part of the rules of the family house, you are not meant to stay outdoor late, and if you have to stay outdoor for any reason, they have to be well informed. Okay, so yeah, right in the family house. Um, this particular day, I had to pay one of my helper visit. Now, this was a woman who actually helped me to get posted to the city instead of getting posted to the village. And so I started to pay a visit. Now, when I got to her place, she started narrating a lot of things to me about how her family used to live in Kano before crisis began. I mean, religious crisis, and she had to allow them to go back to their hometown, and she has to stay back because she works with LNYC in Kano State. So and so she was telling me a lot of things about how the environment where she lives became deserted because that place was really deserted. It felt like there were no human beings there. And that's because that place was struck down majorly when the crisis began. Oh, so I felt like she and few other members of the ones left. She talked about people that were killed right in that neighborhood, and it was a deadly scenario. Okay, so when she was saying all that, I was just like, God, is this where I'm going to stay? Am I sure I really had God will? And trust me, there's something about having a very strong conviction, getting a victory note, especially when you pray about something. It keeps you going. When it feels like, oh, am I sure I'm making the right decision? You remember and you be like, yes, God knows about this. God has given me His word. And so when she finished all everything, I ate and drank, and finally it was already getting late. And there's something you don't want to do in that part of the country. You don't want to be outdoor late. Yes, because even the people there, they don't really stay outdoor late. Okay, so eventually I decided to take my leave, and she was telling me to stay back, but I was like, no, I didn't tell anyone I was going to stay outdoor and not come back the same day. So as I lost my way or upon leaving our house, like she asked me, did I know the way through which I came? And I said yes. Obviously, I thought I could remember. Now, because I haven't been going out so well, except that I go to the family house, go to my place of primary assignment, and I come back home. I really do not go to places. So it wasn't like I was observing my environment, right? That's the danger of not being observant, especially when you're in a new environment. So yeah, I lost out and I felt like, okay, I probably took the left way when I was coming or something. I was overconfident because I felt like, how will I miss my way? Like for what now? It's even daytime to be precise. Now, I was how I lost my way. And the funniest thing about Lake Kano roads is the fact that their roads are interwoven. Like you can see like three roads, one moves this way, other moves this way, the other this way, another one like that. And if you're not careful, you most likely think you came in through this way, whereas you came in through this way. Now, so that was how I lost my way. I found myself almost close to the government house. It wasn't funny because I kept on trekking, and the more I keep trekking, thinking that I'm almost where I'm supposed to take my next cab, I discovered that I'm already moving outside of my jurisdiction. Before I knew it, of course, now when it comes to government residential area or basically a government road, it's not usually a very busy road like that. So I just noticed that everywhere was looking scanty. There were no much cars, there were no much public transport. I was like, what's going on here? Am I sure I'm on the right track? That was when I realized that I had actually missed my way. Like I was far, far gone. And the sad thing is that if I said to go back, and it was almost close to night time, this was around to 7 thereabouts, how was I supposed to know which way was the real way? Okay, now that I'm even confused totally. So eventually I was like, let me just get a public transport going anywhere nearby. I was like, I will just call my exact destination, which was Maraba. Yeah, like even if the car was going to tell me 500 naira, I wouldn't mind paying. Like I was getting anxious at that point in time. Now I knew that I was lost, and I was like, God, in a strange land, God, you need to help me, so that they don't end up kidnapping me or doing something to my enemy. Yeah. The worst fear that came upon me was the fear of rape. I was like, God, hey, this one that they already like women, right? What if somebody just comes and decides to do what not with me? And so I was really, really feeling jittery at this point. And eventually I stood there. I did not see a single cab. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? I was like, God, have mercy on me. Even if I've sinned or something, like, hey, God, it wasn't a funny scenario, honestly. So now, after staying for close to like 25 minutes, I think, eventually I saw a car. By that time, it was already nightfall. I did not know who to call. I was like, even if I called anyone in the family house, it wasn't like we had a car or a bus or something. So how would they possibly know where to get me? And even where I was, I could not really be precise about the exact location of that place. But I just knew that the place had to be a place almost close to the government house. And so that was how this car stopped ahead of me and beckoned on me to come. And because I had no choice, I mean, I feel like, hey, Omo, you have no choice. It's not that somebody waited for you after standing here for minutes. You better just hop in and pray to your God. As I stepped into the car, the man spoke in Hausa, and I told him that I do not really understand Hausa that well. It was not like, where am I going? I told him I was going to Maraba. It was like I should come in, that he's also going through that way. Hey God, I was scared, I will not lie. But I was like, okay, let me just get prepared for the worst. Like if the worst comes to worst, I will jump out of this car on motion. I was like, the worst that can happen to me is that maybe my enemy will have a broken leg or something, but at least I shall be safe. So we're going. Immediately this man just switched his stereo. and he started playing Celine Dion songs. Like, if you know Celine Dion songs, they are love songs, right? Yes. I was like, what's going on here? That's why this man started playing Celine Dion songs. Started asking me questions relating to marital status and all, and different things. I had to lie to him that I was married, and it was like it doesn't matter that he was interested in me. Hey God, hey, how am I supposed to explain myself? At this point, I was already getting prepared that, damn you are going to jump out of this car. Because that this one is already talking about marital stuff, and he's saying it does not matter, that she please give him a chance. Hey God, that is, he wants to take him to his house. And like, what kind of thing is this? Guys, oh, get ready for the worst. Now, luckily for me, it was there are two different roads that leads to that Maraba. There's a place around farm center. There's another one that you can pass. Man, luckily for me, this man passed the exact road that links opposite my family house lodge. So immediately I said that we were close to house like this, Jesus. That was why I told this man that I want to pee. Remember, he does not really understand English that well. He's an Hausa man, complete Hausa man. So I was like, I want to pee. I was trying demonstrating to that my tummy is paining, that I just want to pee, that she hold on for me. Gosh, it was not funny. Oh. He had no intention to wait. Like, he was like, he kept on going and speaking out. So I was like, hold on, that I want to pee, that is really paining me. But I was just demonstrating with my body language and all that. Eventually he waited, and that was how I alighted. Guys, the way I alighted there, it felt like I was being pursued by armed robbers. I jumped out of the car. I did not even check whether an oncoming vehicle was coming on the road. I just crossed and I launched to the other side. And when I got to our family house gate, I think it was closed. Yes, it was, but luckily it was not locked. That was how I banged the door, pwah, and I entered. Everyone ran out of the house. They were like, "What's going on? What happened to me?" I was like, oh, I could not talk for like close to like 1 minute. I was just panting and gasping for breath. Like, God, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. Honestly, this is not a funny matter, guys. This man would have taken me to where I do not know, and the worst would have happened to me. But eventually I was able to, like, you know express myself. I had to like tell you everyone that this was what happened to me. They're like, I shouldn't have come back, and I should have just stayed back in the woman's place and all. I was like, I felt like I did not tell anyone I was going to stay outdoor. So that's like, gosh, guys, for 3 good days I was reminiscing it, and I felt like this was just God that helped me. Because if I don't know, I do not just know, gosh, I would never have been able to forgive myself. Like, if things had not turned out the way I eventually turned, and I was able to escape, because I was like, this is real, real. This is a real, real deliverance. Like, guys, till now, if I still remember, I feel this kind of goosebumps on my body, and I'm like, thank you, Jesus, that it was you that saved me that night. Because it wasn't myself, it was you. And everybody kept on telling me like it was God that saved you. That it's not many people that can escape this kind of thing. They would have, raped them and all that. But I thank God. And remembering it now, self, is really, really giving me some kind of body reaction. Like, God, thank you, Jesus. Because thank you, Jesus. That day I saw in my life that I was never going to be outdoor late. I was, eh? Who- In fact, just thank God for me, okay? So this is how the whole story is. So thank you guys for watching today's video. It actually did to this extent. I celebrate it greatly, and I hope to see you in my next one. Remember that I love you as always. Stay safe and be good. Bye.